live feeds from the hallowed chambers of the Akwa Ibom State Assembly, and already seated, awaiting the arrival of the governor, Umo Eno, state assembly members, and indeed other top government functionaries. Any moment now, the state governor will arrive for the presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill. Of course, earlier on, you saw the clerk of the state assembly, and there you have as well the speaker of the state assembly seated amongst other top-ranking members of the Akwa Ibom State Assembly, all waiting for the presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill. Indeed, it's that time of the year when state governors begin to prepare and present the budget for consideration of their state assemblies. We've seen proposals from other states in the southwest and in the northern parts of the country as well. And here we have it, the entrance to the Akwa Ibom State Assembly, announcing the arrival, I believe, of the governor's entourage into the hallowed chambers of the Akwa Ibom State Assembly, flanked by his cabinet members who lead the way into the State Assembly. We have the governor there, Pastor Umo Eno, arriving. Of course, there's also been news from Akwa Ibom State prior to this time of the burial of the wife of the governor, which was done just days ago. But apparently, the leadership of the state remains focused and continues with the business of governance. There's been condolences pouring in from party leaders, which the governor belongs to, the People's Democratic Party, which of course postponed its next meeting in honor of the governor.
Honorable members and the great people of Akwa Ibom State, we have in this chamber His Excellency Pastor Umo Governor of Akwa Ibom State, as well as Deputy Governor and members of the Executive Council in our midst. I'm very happy to welcome His Excellency and the entourage to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. While thanking you, Your Excellency, for coming,
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Please, let's take our seats. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, distinguished Senator Akon Eyain, PhD, the Honorable Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the Right Honorable Udeme Otong, Your Excellency Ambassador Assam, SAN, members of the National Assembly, the Chairman PDP, Akwa Ibom State and your Executive Council, former Honorable Speakers, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly here present, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, principal officers and members of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the Secretary to Government, the head of the Civil Service, the Executive Assistant and Chief Delivery Advisor to the Governor, Honorable Commissioners, particularly the Honorable Commissioner for Finance, Honorary Special Advisors, Service Commanders that have joined us here, the leader and members, Congress of former legislators, Chairmen of boards and commissions, permanent secretaries and heads of extra-ministerial departments, the clerk of the House of Assembly, the chairman of Algon, Akwa Ibom State, and other chairmen of local government councils and members that are here with us, captains of industries, professional bodies, members of the clergy, academia, senior citizens, organized labor, the press, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by thanking God for all He has seen us achieve in the last 18 months since we came into office. We thank Him for giving us the spirit of unity, peace, collaboration, and selfless service to our people. To Him alone be all the glory. In Jesus' name. Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity of presenting the budget for Akwa Ibom State 2025 to thank this House, all its members, and indeed Akwa Ibomites and around the nation for your overwhelming condolences, outpouring of love on the demise of my dear wife, the First Lady of our state. Your love has been tremendous and has supported us, helped us to heal the pains that her exit has inflicted on us. I use this occasion to thank all of you, to thank the nation, to thank Mr. President, and all that have commiserated with us. We are indeed very encouraged. Mr. Speaker, it may interest you to know that the work and the machinery of government has not stopped running. Even with the heavy loss that I have experienced, I have done all in my power as a human being to run the affairs of state. We are just 3 days away from interment, but I've considered it necessary to come before this House to lay the budget because I will not allow my personal grief or loss to impair in any way on the affairs of state. Mr. Speaker, honorable members and other invited guests, we have come here today as tradition demands and in fulfillment of the constitutional requirement to present before you in these hallowed chambers the estimates of expenditures for the year 2025. Before I proceed further, permit me to thank you, Mr. Speaker, and indeed all the honorable members of this House for the wonderful spirit of cooperation we have received from you since our people gave us the mandate to work for them. You have proven beyond any shadow of doubt that we came to serve our people and galvanize them to arise and collectively lift our state and our people to greater heights of growth, development, unity, and love. The 2025 budget estimate is christened the budget of consolidation and expansion. And we are presenting today to you is very specific and encompasses every detail and plans each of the ministries and departmental agencies are expected to implement. For the first time in the history of budget preparation, we spent weeks with members of the enlarged ESCO and demanded of them a detailed, comprehensive, implementable estimate from their ministries and agencies. It went beyond the usual defense of their estimates before the Economic Development Ministry, without aligning such to specific areas of execution and implementation. I am therefore happy to announce that what we are presenting to you here for your kind consideration contains specific projects that align with our RISE agenda and aimed at scaling up the tempo of development and moving higher the levers of growth of our dear state as encapsulated in the RISE agenda. Some of these projects, I want to thank the ESCO members, especially the Honorable Commissioner for Finance, Dr. Linus Nkan, as well as that of Economic Development, Mr. Membo, and the entire budget team, led by the Director of Budget, Mr. Tu Asukwo, for the painstaking work they have done here. This is the spirit we expect from all of us, and it's beautiful and encouraging. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this hallowed house, in the last 18 months, because we, the executive arm and the 8th Assembly, have seen ourselves as partners, we have worked hard to translate the vision of our governance blueprint, the RISE agenda, across all the 5 areas, which are agricultural development, rural development, infrastructural maintenance and expansion, security maintenance, and of course, educational advancement. In about 18 months of our being in office, we have painstakingly followed through on our vision to ignite agricultural revolution and ensure food security for our people. To achieve the above, especially considering the current high cost of our staple food items, we declared every first and third Fridays of the month farm-free days. So workers will return to the farm and plant the food that we eat. So far, this clarion call has been accepted by our people, and we expect a bountiful harvest next year. We have flagged off the second planting season, where improved cassava cuttings, maize seeds, pumpkin seeds, fertilizers, and other inputs were distributed to farmers. Work is ongoing at the Igbo Model Farm. This farm project is a deliberate policy of government to treat agriculture as a business worth investing in. We have improved on the Songhai farming model and embedded farming business, tourism, and hospitality ecosystem in Igbo Model Farm. This will reposition the state for tourism, conferences, and a training hub for improved farming practices. The Igbo Model Farm, along with the work we are doing to resuscitate the plantation and Dakota Global Oil Palm have attracted the attention of multinational agencies and the federal government seeking to partner with the state on this project. We will continue in our quest to be a pace setter in the agricultural value chain in this country. Our commitment to rural development is total and comprehensive. Since our inauguration, we have worked hard to ensure that every local government has an ongoing project through our One Project per Local Government initiative. Some of these projects include model primary healthcare centers, model primary schools, roads, and other impactful projects. Since the beginning of this month, we have undertaken the commissioning of projects across local government areas. Time will fail me to repeat all those projects we have commissioned, but the fact remains that we are utilizing the resources of the state to get the most work done for our people in line with our campaign promises. We remain passionately committed to maintenance and expansion of our infrastructure. As we speak, we have initiated 57 strategic and economically viable FGPC-approved road projects, 11 direct road labor projects, 37 FGPC projects we inherited and are still being funded, 51 old direct labor projects we equally inherited, bringing a total of road projects currently executed across all the local governments in our state to 156 roads. Without going into details on this road and other infrastructure, it will be repetition, and I'm sure when the Honorable Commissioner for Finance will be expanding on this budget tomorrow, he will be able to mention all of the key roads that we have worked on, or some are still ongoing. Only last week, I had a meeting with all the contractors working for the state government and advised them to seize the opportunity presented by the dry season to complete the works they've been awarded. We have mobilized them for new projects. We have also paid for existing projects. We expect to see corresponding work done by all our contractors. Our state still enjoys the enviable status as one of the most peaceful and secure states in the nation. Security is the first business of government, and we take this obligation very seriously. Apart from creating a standalone Ministry of Internal Security and Waterways, which we did a few weeks after my inauguration, we have also created the Ibom Community Watch, which, working with the formal or institutional security agencies today, provides men for intelligence, for crowd control, and other strategic security tasks at the local or community level. Mr. Speaker, let me announce that this morning I just proscribed a group that we consider a terrorist group. It is called the Ibom Youth Council. This has nothing to do with the National Youth Council. We have had to proscribe that group because they've created their own government, created their own barracks, and they are trying to set up in Akwa Ibom State. We will not allow that to happen, and I've just proscribed that group, and anyone caught being a member will be duly prosecuted. We intend to offer employment to 6,000 youths drawn from all the 31 local government areas through Ibom Community Watch. We have also provided 14 gunboats to the Joint Patrol Team headed by the Nigerian Navy, as well as other vehicles to aid the Rapid Response Squad of the State Police Command. We have launched the Security Trust Fund, and I want to use this opportunity to thank our service commanders for working with us to make our dear state safe, secure, peaceful, and a destination of choice. We remain committed to the educational advancement as outlined in our RISE agenda. Education still remains free from primary to secondary levels and for tuition only. We have kept our obligations in the payment of WAEC fees, subventions, and other needs. Let me say here clearly that feeding in boarding schools is the responsibility of parents. Government have set up an investigative panel to look into the recent incident involving the Presbyterian Senior Science College, Ididep, in Ibionibom local government area. Going forward, no principal should act as a boarding master. They will either choose to be a principal or they choose to be the boarding master. Let us identify the work that people do so we can assess them properly. The government will not hesitate to shut down schools where parents cannot properly feed their wards. After all, if these wards were living with them at home, they will provide for their meals. Government never promised feeding to boarding house students, and we will not be stampeded to doing so. The high cost of education in the state is already inhibiting on us, but we are determined to push through. Please let parents take responsibility for the words they've sent to school. Our modern primary schools remain a marvel, and in the new year, we'll be commissioning a slew of these model primary schools. We want our pupils to receive instructions at the best environment possible so they will be better equipped mentally, academically, for future educational pursuits. We have provided free uniforms, books, and shoes for all of them. And may I also add that these uniforms and shoes are all made in Akwa Ibom State. We have increased bursary from 10,000 to 20,000 naira for undergraduates studying general courses and 10,000 to 30,000 naira for those studying professional courses such as law, medicine, engineering, agriculture, etc. We have started paying 250,000 naira per undergraduate student living with disabilities and 300,000 naira for postgraduate students studying professional courses. This is drawn from the 100 million naira endowment grant which we instituted for students living with disabilities. We recently approved 1.1 billion naira one-time wardrobe allowance for all our teachers. In the area of healthcare deliveries, we have commissioned model primary healthcare centers in Ikod Kwoibesikpo, Odot in Sratai, Oboye Korita in Sribom. Works are over 90% completion with others across our local government. We're working hard to commission the General Hospital in Ukanafon. Recently launched our RISE Care, the state insurance healthcare scheme, and we have enrolled over 10,000 civil servants in that program. We hope and trust that they will now begin to receive free medical services in the hospitals that have been so designated, free of charge. The Ibom Specialist Hospital will be restructured as a standalone entity and will run like the Ibom Air model. We intend to construct a medical village along the medical corridor from Ibom Specialist Hospital to Ikorekpene. We'll continue to conduct free medical outreaches for the most vulnerable Recently, we received 6 ambulances aimed at fast-tracking our healthcare delivery service and ensure real-time, on-time responses to medical emergencies. We have ordered additional 4, so we'll have 10 of it. Very soon, that program will be launched. We have kept our obligations to Ibom Air and will continue to support the airline that has pointed our state colors brightly in the nation's aviation space. Since we came in, we have received 2 Airbus A200/300 series, and a month ago, we received 2 new CRJ-900 Bombardier aircraft. All these were paid for fully by the state government, bringing the total fleet in Ibom Air to 9. The recent disbursement to Ibom Air is a testament of our belief that public finance can be deployed for commercial ventures based on global best practices. I am reliably informed that the company has returned to profitability this year. We are working to commission the maintenance, repair, and overhaul facilities soon, while operation at the international terminal of the Victor Atta International Airport will soon commence. We thank the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Barrister Festus Keyamo, SAN, and heads of other regulatory agencies for working with us to make the expected partial commencement of operation possible. That informed our decision to flag off the aviation village we performed last week. That facility in the first phase will provide accommodation and other recreational facilities for workers who will help drive our vision as the aviation hub of the Gulf of Guinea and associated ecosystem. In the humanitarian or poverty alleviation and social investment schemes, we have done extensive interventions here. We are committed to building 400 humanitarian homes, which we call compassionate homes, before the end of our first term. Today, we have commissioned about 62 of those homes already, and about 95 are ready to be commissioned anytime soon. We continue to pay 50,000 naira monthly to our elderly people, 600 of them selected each month across the 31 local government area under our RISE initiative for the elderly. This has helped them to take care of their immediate needs. We're also planning to build our elderly citizens' home along the medical corridor. We hope to flag that off before the end of the year. Through the bulk purchase agency, we have been providing free food vouchers to the most vulnerable, and we follow through on this by directly distributing the food items to the people to ensure strict adherence to transparency. 2 40 food distribution trucks were purchased for this purpose. This, however, I must repeat, is just an intervention program. The practical solution remains the return to farming by our people, which thankfully they have embraced. To date, we have paid over 37 billion naira out of the 85.2 billion naira we met when we came into office as gratuities to retired civil servants, local government, and teachers in the state. We are committed to liquidating all of the backlog of this gratuity as funds become available. We have also kept most of our obligations and agreements with the organized labor, leading to the very seamless smooth labor-government relations we have enjoyed since we came in. We will pay the minimum wage of 80,000 naira after the current verification exercise is completed. But in the meantime, to cushion that delay, we have approved a 13 months salary, popularly known as a number, the arise to help our civil servants this Christmas season. The Arise Employment Portal has been launched, and jobs for our teeming youth will be harvested very soon from this portal. I am encouraged by what I have heard so far. Before the end of the year, we'll set up a state labor committee to liaise with our contractors and other individuals doing businesses in Akwa Ibom to utilize this portal to recruit our people for various job opportunities they may offer. We remain dedicated to growing small, medium-scale enterprises as the engine of economic growth in any society. The Bank of Industry, BOI, has established its branch here for the first time, and we are providing a deposit of 2 billion naira to aid our small, medium-scale entrepreneurs borrow funds at single-digit rates. The 2 billion naira loan earlier granted to traders who have stalls in market has now been converted to a grant. 200 million naira each has also been approved for traders and medium-scale entrepreneurs of the Arewa, Yoruba, Igbo, and Niger Delta communities who have stalls in the market, as well as making, so all of these together brings it to 800 million naira. So we have given totally 2.8 billion to our traders. So far we have trained over 6,000 budding entrepreneurs, including 400 female youths who will be given 500,000 naira each, plus 250,000 naira to acquire their shops. This is through the Entrepreneurial Accelerated Program that is run by IBOM Leadership and Entrepreneurial Development Center, IBOM-led. Like I said before, 6,000 youths are to be engaged by the IBOM Community Watch, and a further 1,000 youths are to be trained at the Dakada Skills Acquisition Center, DASAC. 200 of those youths are currently in training at the center with a support fee of 20,000 naira monthly for their logistics. Outside that, we have, through the employment portal, we have invested 10,000 youths so far to support them with 50,000 naira each. This started in October. We are now 2 months. By second week of December, we'll be crediting the 10,000 with 50,000 naira each. That's to support their work while we continuously help them secure jobs. Mr. Speaker, we are committed to increasing our internally generated revenue through the creative application of our moribund assets. Recently, we performed the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of an 18-story IBOM Towers, which, upon completion, will provide financial returns to our state and will recover our investment in that building. We'll continue to recover our moribund assets and put them to commercial use. It will interest this House, Mr. Speaker, to note that we have well over 10 moribund assets spread over Lagos and Abuja, and we have to make good use of them to increase our IGR. I will not bore you with the list of those assets, but suffice it to say that Akwa Ibom has assets on Ajose Adeogun Street in Lagos. We have assets on Broad Street. We have assets on Simpson Street. And these are prime locations. Those assets are moribund, and we have recovered all of them. We are determined to put them to use. We rather will generate revenue internally using our assets than to inflict this burden on our people by increasing taxation. One of the assets is located in Abuja, very close to the Ministry of Finance. Mr. Speaker, we have concluded plans to construct a 4-star Ibom hotels in Abuja. All this in the long run will earn us solid returns on investment. As the world is looking beyond oil, we too must make plans to think ahead how we shall survive without oil. We have undertaken a detailed technical audit of operations of the Ibom Power Plant and are presently reviewing the recommendations of the report for implementation. There will be a major restructuring of the organization and operations of the plant. We have identified some operational risks associated with the operation of the plant, for which we are developing a program. There are challenges that we are detailing on a phase-by-phase basis. But what I can guarantee this Honorable House is that we are determined to make Ibom Power Plant work and to provide electricity for our people. We have conducted a comprehensive visibility study on Ibom Deep Sea Port, where on-site geotechnical and geophysical environmental scoping, part designs options have been undertaken. With the completion of the report, the Akwa Ibom State Government, as project sponsor, will proceed to the front-end engineering design stage, which is a crucial step in the planning of a complex engineering project. We are working silently on the Ibom Deep Sea Port, but you'll understand that all of these are steps that we need to take. I'd like to assure this House that we are taking those steps. We have paid our consultants to date. Those that have not been paid has to do with documentation. And as soon as they do their documentation, funds will be released. We have opened up road, full access road, dual carriage road to the facility, and work is ongoing as we speak. Mr. Speaker, tourism is a big focal point in the Arise agenda, and we have opened up our state and we are developing our tourism potentials. Ibom Air is a good signal that we can use in driving tourism in our state, because they can bring people in and take them out with ease. Come this December, we'll be opening a section of our audacious, all-inclusive mega tourism project, the Arise Park. The park sits on a former gully-ravaged ravine, the Etimumana and Dominiutuk avenues specifically, and today it is a marvel to behold and a testament to vision and creativity. We'll be opening the children's playground and the golf course before the end of this year. The Christmas Unplugged will commence next week and will be hosting the world to a month-long happy hours of cultural renaissance and reawakening. It's promises to be a wonderful time for our people to relax, engage ourselves in an atmosphere of love and togetherness. Our Godswill Obot Akpabio International Stadium remains the choice of major football events organized by CAF and FIFA respectively, and we remain poised to keep maintaining the facilities at the stadium. We have done so much in the last 18 months that time will fail me if we were to detail all of them. The Chief Press Secretary, working with the SSA Research and Documentation and all other team in the media, will be producing a bi-weekly or bi-monthly coffee table special publication which will outline and document in full details all that we have achieved across sectors and distribute them everywhere in the state, churches, supermarkets, hospitals, hotels, as well as insert them in our local newspapers. This will be done so as to make the public keep up with the work that we do inside the Hilltop Mansion. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, let me proceed to the policy thrust and objectives of the 2025 budget that is about to be laid before this House. The policy thrust of the 2025 budget will be anchored on the Arise agenda of the present administration. The policy objective of the 2025 budget includes to achieve food security through investing heavily in the agricultural revolution. Rural development will be achieved through robust investment in modern living facilities such as seasonal roads, rural electrification, primary healthcare services, facilities, schools, markets, recreational facilities, and so on, with within the rural communities to ultimately improve the quality of life for those in the rural areas and help stem rural-urban migration. The budget is targeted to consolidate on the maintenance and advancement of world-class infrastructure that the state has come to be known for nationally and complete those that were started by previous administration, which time did not permit them to be completed and commissioned. One of such is the International Conference Center by the Tropicana. We believe that the time has come to complete that International Conference Center. It will be a signature for conferences in our state, and we can begin to attract bigger conferences to come to Akwa Ibom. We'll ensure that public schools in the state are equipped and staffed by teachers who are passionate and dedicated. We'll ensure that citizens continue to live in peace and that the sanctity of human life will be protected through our security management, prioritization of the welfare of civil servants, and encourage a spirit of entrepreneurship in line with the Arise agenda. The budget also is aimed at creating jobs for citizens and enlarge the path for economic prosperity, expanding and improving infrastructure and services in healthcare delivery at primary and secondary levels to safeguard the state against public health emergencies. The budget is aimed at promoting accountability and transparency by ensuring compliance with the fiscal responsibility and public procurement laws. We will initiate a robust sports development policy for the state and creating a funded youth development and empowerment program to keep them actively engaged over a sustained time frame. Mr. Speaker, to ensure that this happens, we have separated the Ministry of Youth and Sport. They now become independent ministry of their own, because we have discovered that sport is swallowing up youth development. So we need to create a standalone Ministry of Youth Development, and this has already been created. We'll continue to assist our women in business and entrepreneurial ventures through mentorship initiatives and already established entrepreneurs. To achieve these objectives, the following strategy will be adopted. 1. Improve the effectiveness of our budget performance by ensuring fiscal discipline through implementing of only programs that were captured in the budget, while ensuring value for money, greater transparency, and accountability. Provision of appropriate incentives to attract private investment in the agricultural sector, such as farming input supplies and tractor hiring. Create jobs by strengthening micro and small-scale enterprises, supporting them through working capital grant and loan. Investment in using the MDA scorecard and key performance indicators. Achieve at least 20% increase in our IGR by eliminating evasion in payment, wastages, and leakages in collection and expenditure, and developing tourism potentials. We shall promote environmental safety to mitigate the adverse effects of climate change and maintain a healthy environment. As you probably will be aware, Mr. Speaker, we have now inculcated safety, health, and environment as a department in the civil service. We shall connect our rural communities, renew our urban centers with network of roads and recreational opportunities for the benefit of Akwa Ibom citizens. We are poised to partner with the private sector, foreign investors, to invest in key sectors of the state economy. The review of the performance of the 2024 budget. Mr. Speaker, a total of 849 billion was approved for our 2024 fiscal year. However, the proposed revised estimate of 923 billion currently before the House of Assembly for approval has a total recurrent expenditure of 350 billion and the capital provision of 573 billion. The breakdown, total becomes 923 billion. Mr. Speaker, as at October 2024, the total recurrent revenue collected was 800 billion, representing 168.6% of the prorated approved provision for the period January to October. The sum of 100 billion was realized from other capital receipts, excluding recurrent surplus. This represents 43.3% of the prorated approved provision for the period. As at October, a total of 328 billion was spent on capital programs, which represent 80% of the prorated provision for the period. The remaining 2 months will see us rise to take the full 573 billion because we We've just released funds and we are releasing funds to other projects as we come to the end of the year. So you see more flag-offs, you see more commissioning, so that our budget performance when reviewed in January will be above 70%. This will be the first time, I believe, that government will rise to 70% of budgetary performance. Highlights of the 2025 budget. The budget, which is christened Budget of Consolidation and Expansion, is predicated on an oil benchmark of $75 per barrel at a production rate of 2.1 million barrels per day, with an estimated exchange rate of 1,400 naira to a US dollar, in line with the national budget benchmark projections. The national GDP has been projected at 3.68% growth rate, with national inflation rate at 32%. The budget size. Government has proposed a total budgetary outlay of 955 billion naira for the 2025 financial year, as against the proposed revised provision of 923 billion of 2024, representing an increase of 3% from the 2024 revised budget. This is made up of recurrent expenditure, 300 billion, capital expenditure, 655 billion. Mr. Speaker, we believe that if a society must progress, our capital expenditure must go way, way above our recurrent expenditure. So our recurrent expenditure proposal for 2025 is just 1/3 of the entire budget. And this will call for prudent implementation as we are determined to eliminate all wastages and unnecessary conferences and travels that will not bring dividend of democracy to our people. State government revenue estimates. Total projected recurrent revenue for 2025 is estimated at 830 billion, as against the proposed revised provision of 803 billion, representing 3% increase in revenue projection for the year 2025. And the breakdown is as follows. Internally generated revenue, IGR, 80 billion. Statutory revenue, 20 billion. Derivation, 135 billion. 13% derivation revenue arrears, 60 billion. Exchange gain, augmentation and others, 455 billion. Excess crude, 5 billion. Value added tax, 70 billion. Ecological fund, 5 billion. Totaling 830 billion naira. Recurrent expenditure for the 2025 fiscal year will stand at 300 billion, personnel cost of 115 billion, taking cognizance of the minimum wage adjustment, overhead cost 184 billion, totaling expenditure of 300 billion. Capital expenditure. The total capital receipts and expenditure for the year 2025 is estimated at 655 billion naira, as against the proposed revised provision of 573 billion naira for 2024. A total projected capital receipt shows that 530 billion will be transferred from the Consolidated Revenue Fund, while the 125 billion is to be realized as follows. Opening balance for 2024 account, 100 billion. External bank loan, 10 billion. Grants, 11 billion. Reimbursement from federal government on roads, 1 billion. Other exceptional income, 1 billion. Stabilization account, 2 billion, making 125 billion. Sectoral allocation. The sectoral allocation of the budget outlay of 955 billion for the year 2025 is presented as follows. Administration sector, 215 billion, representing 22%. Economic sector, 564 billion, representing 59%. Law and justice, 21 billion, representing 2.2%. Regional sector, 1 billion, representing 0.1%. Social sector, 152 billion, representing 16%. The Honorable Commissioner for Finance will, as usual, provide additional details on the sectoral allocation. Conclusion. Mr. Speaker, and honorable members, thank you for your kind attention. Let me pause and celebrate God's goodness and mercies to us as a people and as a state. It is by His mercies that we have achieved all that we have enumerated, despite the lean resources and challenging macroeconomic environment. We have been prudent in the management of the resources of the state, and we are able at any time to give a judicious account of how the state resources have been deployed. It is by His mercies that we have also stepped into this era, which is tagged our golden era. It is by the mercies of God that this budget of consolidation and expansion will be judiciously implemented to achieve the lofty ideals of our forebears. Let me thank, as I close, members of the Executive Council for the work they've done, great work in stabilizing government, working day and night to ensure that we have a budget that each and every one of us can call our budget. And we look forward to the implementation of this budget. I therefore appeal, Mr. Speaker, for your approval on my submission and your support for its implementation. We promise a faithful implementation of this budget of consolidation and expansion for the general good of our people. Our resolve to alleviate poverty and create wealth, generate employment, bring about agricultural revolution, and uplift the overall welfare of our people remains unflinching and an abiding article of engagement and our faith. I beseech you, therefore, to please expeditiously consider and approve the 2025 budget proposals, as the relevant details will be provided by the Honorable Commissioner for Finance. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the Akwa Ibom House of Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. May God bless Akwa Ibom State. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellency, Ambassador Sam, Director General of Government Business, members of the National Assembly, Your Excellency, Senator of Manu Watson, former Chief Whip of the Senate, our own Senator John President, Senator Olajusetu, President, former speakers of our private legislative assembly, former deputy speakers of our private legislative assembly, honorable deputy speaker of our private legislative assembly, the leadership of the eighth assembly here present, the secretary to government, head of service, the ES to His Excellency the Governor, honorable commissioners, honorable special advisors, SSA to His Excellency, service commanders present, the leader and members of Congress of former legislators, the chairman of PDP here present, chairman of boards and commissions, permanent secretaries, the clerk of the House, chairman of Algon, and chairman of local government here present, captain of industries, chairman of NLC here present, the clergy, academia, organized level, the press, ladies and gentlemen. Governor with us in the House of Assembly after the demise of the mother of the state, please permit me, Your Excellency, to seize the opportunity to honor our mother as I, on behalf of my colleague, request that all of us here be upstanding for a minute silence in respect of our mother. May the soul of our beloved lady rest in the bosom of our Lord. Amen. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, in the book of Ecclesiastes 3:11, Scripture assures that in spite of the tears in our post-COVID era, chronicling the continuation of ongoing renewal and transformation of our estate, focusing on rural development and other key sectors of the economy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we can clearly recall that a few months after assuming office, His Excellency Pastor of PhD invited all stakeholders on unveil to us a blueprint of his dream for white people. Barely 1 year down the road, we are all witnesses. Major transformation in the health sector, several road construction of compassionate homes, and other projects which today have brought support to the people of Akwa Ibom State. Indeed, almost every area that was mentioned during the campaign has been touched. I can say authoritatively that in the last 1 year and 6 months, there is no local government area without either completed or ongoing projects of His Excellency. As a House, we are glad to have a government that pays special attention to the legislative arm of government. This gesture has no doubt assisted in fostering greater collaboration between the executive arm and the legislative arm for the common good of our people. Your Excellency, you are indeed a friend of the legislature, and you have proven that in every exceptional way. My colleagues and I have never ceased to be amazed and appreciative over you. And one motion, some of which are still at the committee stage, awaiting scrutiny and public hearing. This would not have been possible without the strenuous support of our government, and it is our expectation that the bills will be given due recognition when the government assents in a given time. We have also through our various standing committees oversight projects to ensure due diligence and monitoring so that the money appropriated by this legislature is expended to the data. Similarly, we will not fail in our duties to look at the nitty-gritties of the 2025 budget for the purpose of ensuring that they translate into your Excellency full vision for our people. Rest assured, sir, that this House, through your oversight, will ensure that the 2025 budget delivers on its promises to stimulate the economy of the state by further focusing on infrastructural development Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, our state Akwa Ibom is the land of promise, and I can say, without any fear of contradiction, that truly we are enjoying the peace and blessings that come with the fulfillment of God's promises to us. I urge all of us to continue as a great, hospitable, and loving people, and our whole Bible as a must-come destination. To sustain this environment settings, I call on all of Bible to continue to support the rights agenda of the government, Excellency Pastor Mo. Again, I welcome all of us to this historic gathering, and congratulate Bible State for the consolidations of the new dawn which the 2025 budget represents. Long life, Akwa Ibom State Association. Long live Akwa Ibom State. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Honourable, we are come to the end of this session. I call on the Deputy House Leader to give vote of thanks. The Deputy House Leader.
Thank you, the Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Fotomo Efiambo, and I represent the very good people of Muslim State constituency, including His Excellency, the Governor of our State, Pastor Umar Basi, who also happens to be our Chief Stranger, also known as distinguished guest for the day. Mr. Speaker, let me firstly thank God Almighty for this opportunity to move this vote of thanks on behalf of the 8th Assembly and all members here. Mr. Speaker and Your Excellency, we as the House want to use this opportunity to welcome His Excellency once again on what we will call the Part 2 of its 8-part series in budget presentation and the Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, even though some of us might not be there for your final presentation, I'm sure the Akwa Ibom State people will look forward to listening to you for the next 6 years as you present budgets to this Assembly. Your Excellency and Mr. Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to commend His Excellency for his show of strength and courage. As the Speaker had rightly acknowledged, and even His Excellency himself, we know how tough this particular period is for you, as you are about to lay to rest our mother, the mother of our Ibom State, and the mother of this Assembly in a few days' time. But you have chosen to perform this constitutional responsibility and this tradition by coming yourself to present the 2025 budget estimates. Your Excellency, we say a big kudos to you. Your Excellency, we listened very carefully to your presentation today, and once again, we want to commend you for a fantastic and a job well done. Having listened to you, Your Excellency, once again, Akwa Ibom State and Akwa Ibom people can beat their chest that we voted for a governor that knows what he's doing. Your Excellency, as you had spelled out while you were addressing us, you emphasized the importance of budget implementation and your wish that going forward, Akwa Ibom State will lead the Committee of States in terms of budget implementation. I want to believe that rigorous exercise undertaken by you over the past few months, engaging personally with ministries, MPs, in ensuring that the budget that has come before us has just seen a 3% increase from about 942 that is being currently considered by us in the supplementary budget, and now that is presented to us a budget total of about 955 billion naira, which marks a 3% increase. Your Excellency, we also want to comment again that once again, Akwa Ibom State has seen that the budget estimates for the year 2025 will boast of capital expenditure of about 625 billion, marking 2.3%. 2.3 to 10 of the total budgets are going to 2.3%. And the current expenditure still remains at about 300 billion. This shows your commitment to turning around Akwa Ibom State and ensuring that Akwa Ibom State remains on the speed lane in terms of development. Your Excellency, you spelled out all your achievements in the past 18 months, and we as an Assembly, in exercising our constitutional role, have been partners in that process. And we have also ensured that the monies appropriated in the last budget have been judiciously used by your administration. Your Excellency, I want to use this opportunity to appreciate my colleagues once again. For Your Excellency, we want to assure you that the 2025 budget has been brought to our House. We will, as a House, give it speedy consideration. And like the Speaker has said, we enjoin all heads of ministries and MPs to please cooperate with the relevant committees to ensure that the budget process runs very seamlessly. And to remind them that this House is empowered by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the standing orders to embark on oversight functions on any project or anything funded from the Akwa Ibom State budget approved by us. So, Your Excellency, please don't be surprised when you get letters from members of this Assembly. And please, heads of ministries and MPs, acknowledge our letters and appear when invited. Your Excellency, once again, on behalf of your colleagues, thank you again. I want to thank your entourage for coming. We've seen that the Arise agenda is already on the trajectory of lifting our environmental law. And this House will continue to support you, we will continue to stand by you, and we want to assure you, even though I am not a Liverpool fan, that this House will never allow you to walk alone. We will work with you, we will ensure that for your 8 years as governor of Akwa Ibom State, whatever your plans are, whatever your visions are for Akwa Ibom people, you will achieve so, and you will achieve it expeditiously. So on that note, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, members of Congress, ranking legislators that are here present, we want to thank you for coming, and it will be good for our gallery to always feel like this even when you don't know it around. So we want to enjoy and invite members of the public to always please come and see what your representatives are doing. We are doing it for your interest and for the interest of the state, and we will continue to partner with our governor, partner with the executive to ensure that Akwa Ibom State becomes the state of our dreams. Lastly, Your Excellency, let me thank our leader, our boss here in the Assembly, the Right Honorable Speaker, who is your bosom friend, and we have been reaping benefits of that relationship, and we will continue to reap benefits of that relationship going forward in Jesus' name. So thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, members of the entourage, and I know the Speaker will direct on the next step. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you for your second address. Let me call on the leader of the House to move the motion to withdraw His Excellency the Governor of Akwa State and other strangers from the floor of the House. The Deputy Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me also join the Deputy Speaker to welcome all our strangers in the House. You are welcome, Your Excellency. My name is Son representing the good people of Ogun State constituency. By the grace of God, the leader of this state assembly. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move motion that the House do allow His Excellency with his encourage and all our dear visitors out from the hallowed chamber and the House do reconstitute and the sanctity of the House be restored. I so move.
Thank you. The Deputy Leader of the House.
Thank you, the right honorable speaker. My name is Otto Bob, speaking for the group of Otsulu, including His Excellency the Governor. Mr. Speaker, I stand second motion ably moved by my second was the leader of the assembly. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the motion has been moved and it is recorded that this House will withdraw the Governor and his entourage and for the House to reconstitute. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. According to His Excellency, who stand up and national anthem will sound. Let's rise to the national anthem. Thank you, Deputy Speaker, Leader, Chief Justice, Escort Excellency, and the Electorate. Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you, Leaders.
You've been watching the Akwa Ibom State 2025 budget presentation by Governor